Welcome everybody. It's your boy Gonzo, and with me back from sunny DR, it's the boss, the man, filled with rum now, but it's George. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing amazing, man. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to see you. It's nice seeing you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be back, man.
It's good. It's nothing like home, right? And you have a lot to catch up to do for our folks here.
Yeah, there's a laundry list of matches that have happened since I've been gone. So
Right.
we're gonna touch on some of the ones that like have happened, even like recapping some of the ones that we might have already talked about, but they're still a little bit relevant. So we're gonna talk about some of those, and then some of the most recent ones that have happened.
All right. Well, why don't we get started, man? And we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we definitely do. All right. So Matt Bell threw up a 54 average. I was talking to you guys about Matt Bell. He started on the ladder at like a 39 average, and he's just been climbing ever since. So he's up now to like throwing like a 54 average. I think he sent me like a match report where he was almost into the 60s. He might have actually been in the 60s. So this guy, when he said that he can throw darts, like he wasn't lying.
That's crazy.
What's that?
That's crazy. I mean, it took me like a couple of years to get from 40 to 60. He's already there in 3 months.
Yeah, it's insane. Roy Walls had a couple wins. He had a win over Chow and a win over Wade. Now, this was before I left, right? So we're going to get to a couple more of Roy's matches in a little bit. But I just want to touch on like him. Like Mike Dever had a couple wins. He had a win over Brian H. and Jay Sherman. Yeah, so those are two big wins. Like he threw a 69 average and a 64 average in those two matches. He can throw a lot higher, and we're going to get to the higher matches in a couple minutes, right? But Chris Frazier threw a 53 average against Tom Allen. Now, Tom Allen, I don't know what to take from this guy. Like he'll throw like a 50 average, he throws like a 45 average, and then the next thing I look, he's up into the 60s. Like I really don't. He's all over the map, right? So
It could be that it takes you a while to get into it. It could be
yeah,
that.
very well could be, right? Brian Bell Braddock took down Kyle B. That was a big win for him. He's actually just had another big win as well. We're gonna talk about that in a second. David Curry up throwing a 61 against Dustin, who threw a 55. That was the game of sweeps. As soon as I seen that match report, I'm like, we did talk about this, but it's still like seeing Dave throwing like a 61, and you were saying that like you think that's his typical like where he should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good to see him up throwing those averages. Kirk Hess and Tim Sheck threw. They both threw around a 58 average, so they're both throwing good darts. Miles took out Kyle Glennersma, right? That was another. Went sweep, and then they maxed out the legs on the last one. So that could have been anyone's game. So, and he just put himself into a. He still hasn't played his match. Him and Henry Lanata.
Yeah, Henry.
The winner of that's getting a title shot, and they still haven't played it. So like, I'm really excited to see how much Miles can step up his game playing against someone like Henry. All right, like that's a new beast that he's walking into. Like to see how he does against him is going to be a big test for him. That's for sure. Ross over Michael. Ross threw a 54. Ross also beat Mike Dartleague, and Mike Dartleague had like it sucked that he wasn't able to like keep up the streak, but he had like a 65 average in the one set. So it was actually broken up into two match reports. So he won the first set with a 65 average and then dropped right down to like a 47. I was like, like if only he could have kept that going, he would have had that win for sure. This is kind of funny. Kirk Main throwing a 59 average against Jerry. So he took him 6-3 in that. And then he drops a match to his son-in-law, Brad Devine. Did you know about this?
I did not. I did not know that.
I'm going to talk about this for 2 seconds because it's pretty funny. Kirk went to a dart tournament with Brad Devine and met Brad Devine's mom, and they've been seeing each other since. So I'm so happy for him. I'm happy that he found someone. You know what I mean? But like, it's just funny that it's Brad's mom. So like, I've been making comments to them like, "Oh, it's your son-in-law," and like, "Oh, how's your dad doing?" And so, anyways, that's pretty funny. A little bit of
that's actually very funny.
Yeah. And Kirk decided to call out Brad just because now they're close, and Brad actually beat him. So Kirk was on the verge of winning 6 straight. So he had 5 straight wins. All he needed was the one more, and Brad came back and swept him. Took the last 6 legs to win it, or 7 legs to win it.
Wow. Now, this is where I would say, that's a good dad, I guess.
Yeah, letting your son win. That's not nice of him. Very nice of him.
It's nice. My son says otherwise about me, but all right.
Henry G threw a 65 average over Keith Jackson, who threw up a 54 average. So it's good to see these mid-tier guys throwing like top 20 averages. You know what I mean? Like, if he can keep throwing 54 averages, he's going to be in the top 20, right? So it's good to see from Keith Jackson. This is another one that's really surprising. Not surprising, because she's a great dart player, is Lisa Boyer. Mm-hmm. So she took out, I'm actually gonna scroll forward here, because she took out Ryan G. Ryan G is a phenomenal dart player. He's a great dart player. He may have not been on his 100% on his game, but check this out from Lisa right here. Lisa then beat Ian Crew 6-2, right? And then she threw a 59 average against David Curry.
Oh boy. I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to catch up also on
I know, but these are all over the map, right? Like, as I was putting them together, I was like, oh, that's the same player playing, so I put them, you know what I mean? Like, I was jostling back and forth. But yeah, 59 average. Fantastic, Lisa. As soon as I seen her throw that, I'm like, send me your 6-month DC card, because I think I need to update your average. And sure enough, she jumped from like a 46 to like a 51. I was like, good for you.
I mean, against Ian, she threw a 43, and then she shoot the 59. That's pretty
huge, right?
It's pretty big. It's a huge jump.
Yeah, it's a huge jump, right? So, I'm going to scroll back up here past Lisa, and Chris Berry over Ian Crew. So Chris Berry's throwing a 61. And again, I love seeing these guys throwing like big numbers, right? Ian Crew can throw higher than what he threw. He threw a 54. We've seen him close to 60s before. So, right. Well, I expect to see more from Ian. But then again, he lost to Lisa too, right? So that's a couple losses in a row for him. This was a good match. Doug Allard, I believe his last name is. Okay. Doug against Lewis. And Doug threw a 71 over Lewis's 67. So that was a great match. I don't know what Lewis threw today against Shane. Do you remember what his average was?
No, I forgot.
No? Yeah, but he played against Shane. But if he can keep throwing 71s, and I believe his average is just over 60. So for him to be throwing out 71 averages is great. And same with Lewis. Lewis threw 10 points over his average. I know he's averaged 57 right now. All right. But I should grab his card too, because these guys as they're starting to play against better competition, their averages are going to start going up, right?
I think she had a little bit under 60, if I remember. No. I think they were both in the 60s actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it would surprise me if they were below 60. I would expect like high 60s from them in that match there, right? Just because they're both top tier players, right?
Yeah.
And that match that we're talking about right now is actually from the Premier League, which I'm gonna talk about in a little bit as well. Like, we got the Premier League tournament running right now, and we're actually just wrapped up the first round. We're going to be into the second round ASAP, right? So
nice.
Yep. Matt Law throwing up a 63 over Bob Tuggle. Bob Tuggle, I know that we talked about this one last time too, because Bob's left the ladder. He's just preoccupied with other things and had to leave, but you know what? Matt Law throwing a 63 is that's big news. So I figured I'd talk about it again. Craig Goodwin throwing a 60 average over Ronnie Klein. Again, like seeing these like lower tier players throwing up big numbers, like it just gets me excited. Like when they start getting towards the top, right? If Craig Goodwin can throw a 60 average against Ronnie, you'd be amazed to see like what he can do against like a Shane or a Mike Dever, or you know what I mean? Like against yourself, right?
Your game, like we know there's just something about shooting. I don't know if it's just because you got nothing to lose type of attitude or mentality that puts you at ease, but you shoot better just naturally when you shoot somebody. You know, even on your worst day, mentally there's something that just like kicks in.
Yep. And this is the last one I'm going to talk about that happened before, and then we're going to get into like the more recent matches. But and I don't know what this guy's name is, Javon Roberts or Robert Javons. I don't know. Like one way, it's one way on Messenger and another way on the recap. So I don't know what this guy's first name is. I'm going to call him Javon. Javon threw a 69 average against Chris Goodwin, I think his name is. I don't even know. Chris G. Yeah, 69 average. That's another guy that we're going to be watching as he climbs, right?
Absolutely. That's a big number.
Yeah. It's a great number.
It's a very big number.
And now we're into like some of the more recent matches that have happened like while I was away, like Brian Webb and Chris Rusty Annette. They both threw like 59 and 58 averages, but Brian took that win there. Kyle B had a couple good wins. He got a win over Dustin Capel. So he threw a 57 average to Dustin's 51. He won that one 6-1. And then he played Neil. And even though he threw a lower average, he actually beat Neil as well. He beat him with a 53 and Neil's 55 average.
Yeah, Kyle threw an 88 against Dustin. It's a good leg.
Yeah, 100%. Henry G, 72 over Craig's 59. We were just talking about Craig throwing a 60 average, and there he is basically throwing it again with a 59, right? So, and now we're into Mike Dever's matches. This guy plays a lot of darts. Mike Dever plays a lot of darts.
More than Tyler O?
More than Tyler O, more than Jerry. This guy, if you were to add up what he's throwing on Dart Connect, WDA, he could tell you the other platforms that he's playing on. You add all those up, and he plays more darts than anybody I know. Right? That's crazy. But anyways, he's his match over Doug. He beat Doug 6-2. He beat Kyle B 6 straight with a 76 average. He beat Kirk C to take the third spot. Now he's up in third now. So whoever's champ, that would be you.
Oh, it's me. Yeah.
Look out, because Mike Dever's like right there. Like he's got his eye on you, man.
Oh no! I already played him in the. I played him in the Premier League, as you said. So,
yep.
And he shot great. You know, he continues shooting like that. It's going to be very hard to beat.
What was the? How did you do against him? Like I know I lost to him, but like
I stuck. I should have just maybe played with 2 darts. It was the equivalent. It was, yeah, it was bad. I didn't give him any. He didn't even break a sweat. So, but I'll be back, as they say.
Oh, 100%. Right. And Mike Dever also threw a 66 average playing against Matt Law. Matt Law threw a 63, and it went sweep, and then Mike Dever won the last one 3-1. All right. But again, like if Mike's throwing up a 66 average, those are the times that like he's beatable. You know what I mean? Like, and not that he's not beatable, but I'm just saying that like the guys that average 65, 60, you know what I mean? These guys have the ability to throw a 70 average set, right? Or a match that's 70 average, right?
Absolutely.
You catch Mike Dever when he's throwing like a 65 or a 66, Now all of a sudden it's a different story, right?
Absolutely.
We just finished talking about Lisa B, and I'll say it again, like her over Ian and then her over David Curry with a 59 average. It's fantastic. And then we're back to this Todd guy. Or no, Todd. Hold on. I had another Todd. No, that was Thomas. But Todd is doing the same thing as like what Thomas is doing.
Whitner?
Todd Whitner, yeah. A 56 average over Brian Bauman, and then a 65 average over Brian H. Right?
Yeah. He went 5. Yeah, he went 6-1 against Brian. It's good numbers there too.
Yeah.
Consistent, shot 64 to the 7 legs. So.
But then I remember like a while ago, I'm mixing up Todd and Thomas. Because one of them lost, like I was like, oh, this is going to be a walk in the park match for him, and he lost. I can't remember which one it was. I'm going to have to go back and take a look. But
it might have been Thomas. I don't remember you saying Todd.
Yeah, it might have been Thomas that did that. And now we're into the mix-up that happened with the top of our ladder. So we had Mark Buckley drop off, and then we had Nick Highland drop off, and I was going to make a match between you, Gonzalo, and Nick Highland for the champ, the top spot, because Mark Buckley left, and then Nick Highland left, and we didn't know what to do, so it ended up being like a small tournament. So the first thing that needed to get sorted out was, I knew that we had you, Kirk Hess, and Kirk Chapman in the top 3. But it was a matter of getting that 4th player. So Kirk Chapman had to play Neil. Yeah. If Kirk had a loss to Neil, then Scott Schluss, Scott would have been bumped out. He wouldn't have been in the top 4 anymore. So it would have been Gonzalo, Kirk Hess, Kirk Chapman, and Neil. If Neil had a 1. Neil lost, so Kirk Chapman didn't move, which left Scott in the mix.
Right, because he dropped down 2 spots.
That's correct. So Kirk Chapman ended up beating Neil, right? So now we've got our 4 for the finals, right? So it was going to be yourself versus Scott, and the Kirks were going to play against each other. All of that got wrapped up like super quick, which I'm super thankful for. Because like, if you guys had taken like the full 2 weeks to play your matches, like this thing could have taken 6 weeks to wrap up. I think we got it wrapped up in like a week and a half. It was fantastic. So Kirk Hess ended up beating Kirk Chapman. So that put him into the final. You ended up beating Scott. That put you into the final. So we had Gonzalo against Kirk H for the title. And why don't you tell us how that match went against Kirk Hess?
I'm trying to look for the report because I can't remember yesterday. But
it was a back and forth match. You won 9 legs to 7.
That's right. Oh no, he shot. I think where he got me, I think he found 19 or something like that. And he was just not missing. I think he was.
One of you guys swept the other one, right? Did he sweep you or did you sweep him?
Yeah, he swept you once on that third set.
And remember, guys, championship matches are best of 5 sets. So it's best of 5 legs, best of 5 sets. So he swept him in the 3rd set, and that would have that still put you up 2
to 1. Yeah, I was 2 to 1.
2 to 1 in sets.
Yep. And then he took it, which was like he had the momentum going at that point. So in the 4th set, he came out, shot a 71. I just missed that and out. I think I remember that specific leg. I had a chance at an out that was 100 plus or something like that, and I just missed it on the double 20, which I haven't been able to hit, by the way. So if you see me on double 20, believe me, you got at least 6 darts against me. But yeah, and then after that, I think something clicked for me, and I just started hitting better numbers. I even hit a 107 leg on that second to last leg. So But he was shooting great, man. He kept putting pressure on. He kept putting pressure on. I think in the last match, though, in the last set, I think he got a little tired out. He's started dropping his darts a little bit.
Well, it's a lot of darts to throw, right? Like, you have the match report in front of you?
Well, I mean, not in front of me, but I do have the recap.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a lot of darts. When you're throwing 5 sets of, and you're throwing, like, sorry, what was it again? It was 9 and 7, 16 legs of darts.
Yeah.
So fatigue definitely takes a factor eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, we both. I mean, at some point, it's just like you get into the groove, like right in the middle. It's funny because for me, it's like you hit that bell curve, like you start slow, and then you start shooting really well, and then you kind of dip, or you kind of start mediocre, then you go the other way around, and then you start coming back up.
Yep.
So depending on which way you start going is, But I actually don't mind shooting best of 5 or like best of 16 and things of that nature, just because sometimes it takes me a little while to get into it. So in the middle of it is when I either I crash or I just soar and fly. So I like
the longer the match, the better player is going to prevail. Over time, the better player is going to prevail.
Yeah,
right.
I like longer matches. Yeah, best of 3. Those scare me because I could lose fast.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that wrapped up our the top and kind of set us back to where we're supposed to be. We have a champ. We have our contenders. The top 6 players can play off and get a title shot. I'm really hoping that Miles and Henry get their match in soon, so that somebody can challenge you for the title before Mike Dever gets there, man. Like, I'm really looking forward to him getting a title shot and seeing like how far he can push you. You know what I mean? In a title shot situation, not the Premier ladder tourney, but I really want to see how you guys fare against each other.
It's gonna come down to that.
100%. 100%. So, what else do we got here? We got Ray H, or I think he goes by Ray. I think his name's actually Ray Douglas. But he had 3 matches, so he threw a 72 average against Dan Howard. He threw a 68 average against Mike D. I guess that's Mike Douglas, actually. And then he just had a win over Cat. So he's climbing quickly, like 3 matches right in a row. So yeah. And he's another one of the guys that are gonna, once he gets to the top, it's gonna be competition for yourself and Mike Dever. And then right above him is Roy Walls, throwing 67 average over Matt Law and a 67 average over Jay Sherman, right? Like, he's another one that I'm excited to get to the top of the ladder for sure.
That's some good numbers, man. Those are some really good averages.
Yeah. The last few matches that I'm going to talk about are Shane Patrick just beat Brian Webb 6-1. And then George O had a couple good wins on the ladder. He had a win over Mike Edwards. They both shot like mid-50s. Yeah. And then he had a win with a 57 average over Mike Dartleague's 54. And that was a very close match. Like, that was I wish I had another device here that I could scroll through with the match reports on them, so I could even get down like the sweeps and everything else, like how the match actually played out, because my memory's not that good. And then I mentioned Brian Belbraddock earlier, and I'm going to mention him again. Like, this a 57 average over Ray Sturgis.
Yeah, Ray's back, huh?
Ray is back, but he is not back.
Well, he's present.
He's present, but he threw a 50 or a 45 average.
It's been a while.
That is not Ray Sturgis' averages. So let's hope that he throws away those soft tip darts and starts playing steel tip a little bit more. And maybe we can see some of the averages, like the 56, 57 averages that we've seen from him before, right?
I mean, he was in the top. He's an OG. He's been a number 1 spot for actually he might have been the longest.
I think he is. I think he's the longest reigning champ that we've had up there.
Yeah. I remember that.
Right. But those are the matches that are taking place. There's 5 matches that I'm really looking forward to on the ladder right now. We mentioned Henry and Miles. Tim Sheck and Kyle G are playing. That's going to be a great match. Daniel Vigil and Chris Berry. That's going to be a phenomenal match. Like that's Daniel Vigil's like first real taste of like competition, especially if Chris Berry comes out throwing the 60s that he can throw, right?
Yeah. He's totally a 60 guy. Totally.
Doug and Dustin. If Dustin comes out throwing the way that he can, that's going to be a decent match. Again, like Doug did throw like a 70 some odd average, but he's not typically up that high. So if Dustin can throw into the 60s, which he can, it'll be a great match. And then for a title shot as well, Kirk C and Kirk H. They're gonna battle it off again to see who can get a title shot at you.
Battle of the Kirks.
Yep, again, right? Like Kirk Hess got the best of him last time, but it wasn't that far off. It was 7-5 in legs, right? So
I think I'm gonna put in a request for an addition to the law of the ladder. We gotta minimize the name collisions. We can't have like 6 Kirks. We can't have like 9 mics.
We have so many mics, man. So many mics.
I know. But listen, man, it's all good, man, because it's fun shooting against everybody. So really enjoy that. There's a couple other matches. Ross. I like saying John Philippe, just because I like that name. I played him a couple of times. He's also shooting really well. He's getting his darts lined up, and there's days where he'll shoot, man, up in the 50s.
100%.
So he's improving really well.
He threw like high 50s against someone recently. Might have been Mike Dart League, maybe. But yeah, he threw like a 59 average or something like that, and I was just like, holy shit! I'm like, where'd that come from?
He's getting there, man. He's putting in the time. He's such a nice guy too.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I always like playing people like him. But yeah, that's good, and I'm glad that you're back. We have some good matches coming up, like you said. We have at least 5 of them. If time allows, we're trying to get back into getting streaming more matches, and so I've been a little busy myself. So let us know if we could try to arrange something like we did today about the tournament, right? Today Shane played Lewis in the Premier tournament. So you want to talk a little bit about that, you said?
Yeah, I'll touch on the Premier tournament real quick. Like we're done the first round, so we had as you mentioned earlier, you played Mike Dever, and Mike Dever got the best of you on that one. So that puts him into the second round. Lewis and Shane, along with the and I'm going to do this with the under 50 tournament as well. There's a payout for first place and second place, and then there's a payout for the highest out. It's only $10, but highest out is getting $10. And right now it was held by Henry Guzmi, but Shane just beat that with a 158 out. Me and you were just talking about it before we went on the air, and I'm pretty sure it was triple 20, double 19. But you were saying that another way to do it is triple 18, double bull.
Yeah.
Right. Odds are he went the 20 way, but fantastic darts. What a great out.
Yeah, and sorry, like I said, I mentioned to you, Lewis wanted to hear my voice, but I felt compelled to just be quiet. So, Lewis, next time I'll just start recording myself, and you can play one of these videos in the background and let my voice be your guide.
Yeah, the soothing voice of Gonzalo.
The soothing voice.
So Henry and Daniel Vigil. That was another one of the premier tourney matches. Henry got the better of Dan Vigil. And then the last one was Roy and Henry Lanata. And Roy got the better of that. So the next round is going to be phenomenal darts. Like, we should really stream these 2 matches, because it's going to be Mike Dever against Shane, which, sorry, Shane, Mike Dever definitely has the upper hand here.
Oh, no. How dare you hold me back. Hold me back.
I know it's your boy.
That's my boy. Now
All
listen,
right.
you can't. Shane, nothing against Mike Devers. I think he's also a great shot. He's definitely consistent. He's definitely
Yes.
consistent, and I think that's one thing. But if Shane gets his dart right, man, right out of the bat, it's going to be a close match. But
Definitely got a chance. He's definitely got a chance. I'm not giving him no chance.
I'm gonna say he's. I'm
He
putting him.
upsets?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not considering him the underdog by any means.
All right. Awesome. Man, we should stream that for sure. And the other one is another huge match. And this one, I really don't know which way it's going to go, is Henry G versus Roy W. Henry Guzny against Roy Walls. They both throw like 70 averages. They're both averaged like a 70, 71.
Oof.
That's going to be fireworks.
That's gonna be a tough one. But I'm true to the people who I know, man, and I'm gonna go Henry on that one.
You're going to go Henry?
I'm gonna go Henry, man.
All right. Maybe I could throw up a poll and see what kind of answers we get on these two matches.
Yeah, I mean, I think I may even go a rum chata versus something else that I'll drink. Just to see who gets the best out of this. I'll drink that nasty thing and you drink something I tell you to drink.
There you go. There you go. How do you find it nasty? Like, everybody that's watching this is like, rum chata is amazing.
I'm gonna say that, it's like beauty is an eye of the beholder. Kind of, I'm gonna say taste buds are just different, you know?
Oh, man.
But all right, well, that's good. The tournament, it is fun. I'm glad that you're running it the under 50. So you already have that as well, or sorted out, or you're gonna start?
I'm just waiting for the last few $10 payments to come through. Okay. I think we got maybe 5 guys that are dragging their heels trying to send out that payment. But I'll get on them and get that, and I'm hoping to start it by the 1st of the month. Okay. And then we'll run that tournament. And then I've also got the Wednesday League that's kicking off probably March 6th, right? So
wow. It's a lot going on.
It really is. It really is. A lot of darts, man. It's great.
Well, that's awesome. It's good to hear. The more darts people practice, get better. Soon, next thing you know, they get some TV time. Because there are some really good players, man. And there's just some good talent in the ladder, man, I can tell you. And even the other things that you're running, like you have the Wednesday League, all these other tournaments. I actually seen somebody post a golf score in a thing, and it was like, I don't know, some ridiculous number.
So Mike Dever threw a -29, and then throwing by himself, he beat it with a -31, but that doesn't count. You got to play against somebody, right? So
yeah, you can't be your left hand and be like a right hand shooter. No, you can't do that.
So yeah, so -29. That's the number to beat in golf.
Well, the guy could hit his out. That's why he makes him such a high average player, man. He does not miss at an out. Like we've been saying it, and we'll say it every week. Your outs is what makes the difference, man.
Yep.
So, but well, good to have you back, brother.
Thank you very much, man.
To all, shoot well, behave. Let me know if there's some availability to stream your match. Give me a couple of days heads up. We may be able to do something about it. And have a great week, everybody.
Take care, bud.
All right, brother. Be well.
Peace, guys.
Bye.